Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is really the best case scenario of trying something different with the Scooby-Doo formula and actually still have it feel like Scooby-Doo. I know I briefly talked about this movie a few years back, but I wanted to vote for review here so I can really explain why this movie works the way it does. Firstly, the movie does a good job of really flipping the status quo of what we normally see in normal Scooby-Doo movies and shows at the time. Before, there would be a Monster of the Week mystery where the villain will be unmasked and the day is saved. But in Zombie Island, the formula is thrown out and replaced with a major change. The monsters are real. This alone replaced with the idea of anything happening, and while there are other incarnations that dealt with real monsters, none of those really treated the situation as seriously and without a doubt this dark like this movie did. And seeing the characters react to this idea really just showed how out of the elements they are here and how out of control they are. And speaking of dark, the movie doesn't shy away from the dark storytelling in moments that show just trying to be something different from past Scooby-Doo incarnations. The movie doesn't shy away from the deaths of hundreds of people, the designs of the characters in fear, or the designs of scenes and heavy use of shadow to paint the horror mood. The movie does a lot to create this dark and unsettling atmosphere that really helps pull you into the story. But even though this movie is a dark contrast to the usual Scooby-Doo formula, the movie still feels like Scooby-Doo. From the comedy, character dynamics, and the mystery, it all still feels like what you would normally see from Scooby-Doo, only in a new environment. Which is maybe the most important thing to do when making a Scooby-Doo show or movie that is a vast contrast to other movies and shows before it. And in turn, this idea has made way for some Scooby-Doo incarnations to try something new and away from the usual formula. The live-action Scooby-Doo movies, for as much of a mixed response they got, show that there can be a Scooby-Doo movie with some humor for kids and adults. And Mission Incorporated showed that Scooby-Doo can once again drop itself into a show with dark elements attached and come off as no joke, the best adaptation of Scooby-Doo. And while it's good that we got to see what Scooby-Doo can be like outside the box of itself, it also means that we'll most likely never get the same feeling Zombie Island gave us. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but in a time where Scooby-Doo can essentially go its own path of either being funny, dark, or goddamn headache, Zombie Island truly gave people something different from they were used to at the time, and no matter how they try to recreate that feeling, they'll never be able to really do that. In the end, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island was a lightning in a bottle that brought the franchise to new places that still occasionally goes to, but won't really match or recapture from what the Zombie Island movie was able to do in the first place. It was a special point in the history of Scooby-Doo, and should stay like that as a prime example on how to take an over 50-year-old franchise to new, scarier places.